Hey everyone, I am James Picard 007, and this is part one of my submission for The Legend of Heroes Trails of the Sky, second chapter. I say part one because I do these generally in segments due to general time availability and some medical issues I won't get into here. Um, so this is going to be any percent easy mixed turbo, which will I'll explain here in a moment, but for right now, let's just get into it. So we will start here. Three, two, one, go. So any percent easy, that's pretty much self-explanatory if you're aware of speedrun. Mixed turbo. Um, Turbo is a feature that was backported into the Sky games. It was originally, I believe, it originally came from Trails of Cold Steel. Um, as you can see, you just saw Turbo in action. It's basically a feature that accelerates the game. Um, because, which, I'll get my head on straight here. Forgive me, I'm tired. Um, Turbo basically accelerates the game. The way it is set up with Trails is there's a option for Field Turbo and Battle Turbo. Basically, mixed turbo is we use it for skipping, getting through cutscenes because there is no conventional cutscene skip in this game, and we also use it to accelerate battles a bit. The only thing we don't use it for is general movement, because it's really difficult, and I'll showcase it here in a moment. The way we execute turbo is I'm using a trigger button on a controller, but you can set it up to any key. So, a few moments here, I will showcase it. I just basically want to get out of town here. And as you saw there, it goes very fast because we have it set up to max, which is 6x. Um, and the reason we don't use it for general movement is as you can see, it can go out of control very fast. And with the way the trail schemes works, is enemy encounters are on the map, so it'd be very easy as for us to bonk into enemies or just things in general. So second chapter here is a direct continuation from first chapter. Estelle, our protagonist here, has come home trying to find her adopted brother Joshua, who has disappeared because he's uncovered his not so great past. So the prologue here is we are going off to training before we go try to find him. And this little lass here is our friend Annalise, who's going to be joining us through our training session. And this pretty much is going to be a tutorial section, so not a whole lot to comment on here. And as you can see, this here is Kurt. He's our training instructor. And we're about to go off on a little training course in the sewers. But before we do that, we got a few things to pick up. Here we're going to be picking up a recipe book, which we're not really going to use during this run. We're going to go for one thing. Here we're talking about quartz and ordnance, which I will explain here in a second. I need to manufacture some quartz. Evade one, hit one. She needs defense one, HP one, evade one, and hit one. The shorthand for quartz is basically it will give you some abilities. It'll raise your stats a bit, and it will also give you access to spells depending on your setup. Um, this is probably where I'd pass it off to someone for a better explanation. And here is where we get into our tutorial. We can skip some of the practical stuff, but we are forced to do this one. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed that demonstration of chain crafts because that's the only time we're going to see it. It's not that chain crafts are necessarily bad, but for this run we've got much better things we have access to. And so here's a little mini dungeon. We've got some puzzles we're going to get into. Nothing too serious for the early game. And you may be able to see there are some enemies there. They can try to sneak up on us. Fortunately, a good thing about SE is that you're always guaranteed to run away from battle. So there's nothing really we'll have to worry about. It's just a minor time loss. But we do want to avoid any encounters that we possibly can. Alright, so this is pretty easy. Here we're going to be coming up on our first boss. Going to be pretty dang easy because it's just Kurt. Unfortunately, for the most part, he's not really a threat. The only thing we have to worry about is if he decides to heal a little bit, which isn't too bad. It will just prolong things. That's no issue because we're attacking with spells, and there is a separate stat for um, spell defense. So that's just him essentially wasting a turn. And that's about the best I could hope for. Fight went very well. So here we're gonna go to bed, advance the plot. No, we want to sleep. But things are gonna happen in the night. And it seems that someone is attacking our little lodge. So we're gonna go downstairs and check that out. And here we're going to get into a little fight. But just pretty much spam attack and it's over. And they're going to gas us and we're going to wake up somewhere without our equipment. And there we have a dialogue choice. It pops up in a few places. There we picked up a few supplies, things we'll be using later. Where the heck did you come from? So now we're going to be making our way through the forest here. We're going to go off this little side path here because, oh hey, found some of our equipment. And another piece. Hooray! but we're not going to equip it quite yet. Alright, Miss Monsieur Kitty Cat. Pick that up. Alright, we're almost out of here, but... Oh, one of our Jaeger friends. But, you know, we can take him. Alright. And that's alright, that's a little annoying. There are a few enemies that can cancel our spells, and that's all she's doing here. It's not going to hurt us, but it is going to drag things out just a hair. Alright, so, one of fine. Alright, so we're back here at our lodge because we weren't actually taken away too far. And here we're going to check out a few things. We have to do an investigation here. And one of our friends here is still around, our ornament guy, but we don't need his help. We're pretty square for the time being. Alright, so we think our troublemakers are hiding in a nearby fortress, so we're going to invade and give them a little what for. So here we're going to equip our stuff. Equip her with that mind one we found back in the sewers, and let's get to it. Okay, we need Aqua Bleed on the beetles, Stone Hammer on the bunnies. And that's about one of the few times we're going to really worry about elemental damage. Here's elemental damage here. But here we got a little puzzle. We're actually supposed to be picking up some night vision goggles to get through this area. But we can kind of just, bust our way through. Alright, and this is supposed to be a tutorial area. That's basically an item there we're going to use here in just a second. Pretty much showing that sometimes we'll have to go directly into our inventory to continue something. Alright, rest up here because we got a boss battle. Alright. So bear with me here because I need to attack this guy with art 6 times, so that's number 2. 3. 4. 5. Not worried about that attack. Or that one. 6. Oh, and guess what? It was actually just more training. There wasn't actually real danger. It's just our buddy Kurt and his friends. Oh, what a lark. And here we are having our first meeting with the villainous group Ouroboros, who are going to be our main antagonists for the game. And they're having a little powwow with some key members. And you may remember these folks from first chapter, the Kapuas. They're here in the town of the former town of Hamel with Joshua, who's here paying respects. Okay, that, all right. I'm actually surprised that I'm doing so well. I figured it'd probably be a minor time loss because that's usually a pretty tight chapter. But this dashing gentleman that is from the prologue that I didn't properly introduce is Father Kevin, new character for second chapter, and we might run into him a time or two more. Alright, so now some time has passed and we've finished our training in Lalacal, so we're going to get to some real bracer jobs now. But before we do that, we're going to meet up with some old friends. Shara and Agate. Here, basically, we're about to run into a choice because we're going to partner up with one of them. And we're going to go with Agate. The choice here doesn't technically matter because the story beats are the same, just depending on the character you want to get. And although we are going to pick up Shara later, we want to go with Agate right now because he's a touch more useful for what we want to do. And another old friend, Major Vander. Speak with him for a second before he's got to take off on business of his own. And we're going to come here, pick up our air lantern tickets, which is about the only time we're going to have to do this because otherwise we just have to come over here to check-in desk and we'll be on our way. Alright, so here's the thing we're going to have to do for a couple segments. Still likes to walk around and talk to people on the airliner, so we're going to do that. Which basically we just got to talk to a few people to get the plot going. And that there's Lloyd, an old friend. He gave us some fishing equipment that we're never going to use, unfortunately. Even with as much as I enjoy fishing. And that's everyone. So here we're going to be landing in the little city of Rouen, where we're going to do we're going to be doing some ghost busting because I guess there's been a problem with local ghost. And apparently some old friends of Agate's, the Ravens, know something about it. So we're going to go in and talk to them. But before we do that, we're going to bump into Lloyd again and learn a little bit more about the fishing that we're not going to be doing. Anyways, here's the Ravens. Long story short, they're not going to tell us what they know without a fight, so we're going to have to fight them. Alright, we're not worried about that because... Alright, so remember when I said, ah, unfortunate. Remember when I said Agate was a little, there's a reason we're going with Agate? He has a craft, as you might have seen there, called Wild Rage. Essentially, what it means is for 70% of his max health, he can gain a instant 150 craft points. Now, I didn't go into craft points too much, but basically, whenever we have 100, we can do a thing called an S break, which is essentially a on-command limit break. But anytime we have over 100, we can use that at any time. But if we build up to 200, it gets extra powerful. So him being able to pop up 150 craft points almost at whim is a fair bit broken. Like I said, the only thing is that it does require 70% of his max HP, and if he doesn't have that, it will knock him out. So we do have to be a little cautious of that. So we beat the information out of the Ravens, and we talked to the guy that they mentioned who has seen our ghost friend. And now we're going to pop out of town a few places to continue our investigation at other points where the ghost has been sighted. Alright, and here we're basically going to be doing the thing we'll be doing throughout the course of the game, which is interviewing people, collecting the facts, because we're kind of just amateur detectives. That's one of our roles. And here we're going to meet a young girl and her family. Probably nobody we're going to run into again. Alright, so we're finished here at Airletton. So we're going to go pout back through Ruan and head out the other side to continue our ghost busting. Alright, don't want to run to our shark friend here. Again, we don't want to take any enemy encounters. We don't have to. Alright, here we need to cut through the beach because, as you may see through the mini-map, there's just no land there, or at least no passable land. And here we're going to take a little... don't want to say quite detour to Mercer Orphanage, which featured in the last game, was formerly burned down, but now it's back together. And here we're going to talk with Matron Teresa a bit. And she's asked, after sharing Estelle's woe, she's asked us to go pick up her kids from Sunday school in the nearby village. So we're gonna go do that for her. She's a kind figure, so we'll be glad to help her out. But before we do that, we're gonna make a stop for a little shopping trip. All right, so I want one reviving balm. We need marbled steak. We need 2 kibbled salt, 2 black pepper, and 2 red pepper. That's basically what we need for our recipe later down the road. The one time we're going to use the cookbook. And here Estelle is reminiscing about a time with Joshua. And, oh, hey, it's our old friend, Father Kevin. He's the one leading Sunday school. So now that everyone's back to the orphanage, Father Kevin is going to ask us to escort him back to Rouen. And he's going to help us here because being a priestly sort, he's got access to some healing spells. So we're going to use him to heal up Agate. Because here we're going to do a thing shortly. It's a wild rage encounter. Basically, we're going to take an encounter and kind of cycle through our friends until we get to Agate so we can pop Wild Rage to build up CP, and then we're going to run away. Like so. And we're going to do it a few times just because we want to build up CP for future encounters. I'm not worried about healing up Agate here because we'll heal up before we run into anything dangerous. So now that that's over with, we're going to go stop by the guild to continue on. And we're going to meet up with some more old friends, Niall and Dorothy, who are also investigating the ghost. But unfortunately, there's happenstances. We need to go check out some chaos on the bridge. And there's some sort of chaos here between workers and whatnot. As you can see there from the steam, things are pretty heated. But another old friend's going to pop in with a song. Now, I don't really have to turbo or advanced text through this because this is actually a timed thing. It's got to run its course. While I can, accelerate through this, it's not going to make the whole cutscene go any faster. Excuse me. But as you can see here, this is our old friend Olivier. And he's just as dandyish as ever. Alright, now I can go ahead. And everybody's just too confused about that, so they're just going to walk off and go back to their business. But he is going to help us with our investigation here by pointing out a neat little fact. Apparently, the Ghost has been going to Genis Royal Academy. So we're going to go check that out, and Olivia and Dorothy are going to join us. So, here we go, off to Genis. Okay. Unfortunate, but so here we are meeting more old friends, Chloe and Sieg, and they're gonna join us as we do some investigating here. In fact, Chloe's going to join us while we go question some students about the ghostings. And this is the auditorium where in the last game we helped participate in a play. And here we're going to just take a moment to have some girl talk. And now that that's over, we're going to go back to investigating. Alright, and that's everyone. So now it's sunset, so we're going to go back to the room we started in and sit down and gather the facts. Put everything together. And, oh hey, it's our ghost. Oh, look at that. He's going to take a little bow, and Estelle's going to pass out. And apparently a ghost friend went to the old schoolhouse, and our buddy here got the key for that, so we're going to go check it out. But before we do that, we're going to do some ornament things. Alright, so he needs mind 2, action 1. She needs mind 1, defense 1. He needs hit 1, HP 1. Estelle needs her equipment. And then we just need to stick everyone in the back row. Back row, please. Alright. So here's the old schoolhouse, and there's a card here with a series of riddles we're supposed to be getting into, but this is a speed run, so we already know all the answers, so we just gotta go follow the appropriate clues to continue the hunt. there we just got a key, which is going to get us a bit further. But here we're going to take a quick detour to go pick up a Sepith chest. Sepith being something we need in order to make quartz. And here, oh, we got a little dungeon action going on. And we're going to rest up real quick because we've got a enemy encounter. And this is a thing called a Moki. Ooh, not good. Okay, we don't care about blindness because we're using spells here. That's going to get us through pretty quick. Right, so we're going to tell Dorothy it's too dangerous. She needs to hang back. And we're going to heal up here. Alright, we are taking this chest because this contains a very valuable item in here we want to use. Okay. Alright, we want him to Dragoon Edge. Whoop. Alright, kind of messed that up, but that's fine. We'll roll with it. Alright. And what we picked up there was a cast 2, which is pretty much going to help Olivier cast spells a bit faster. Alright. Alright. So we got another Moki here. But shouldn't be too much of an issue. Okay, he's got no more. But that's fine. Alright, so heal him up because we're going to do another. Alright. Tactics because we want to move Agate up front here. And, oh hey, it's our ghost dude, but apparently he's not really a ghost. He's just using a hologram projector. This is Blue Blanc, the Phantom Thief. Who is also a master of disguise. And this is our boss here, Mr. Horsey. I forget his actual name, but we're going to go with Mr. Horsey. Okay. Oh, that's not good. needs to charge his EP. Alright, that went kind of awkward, but that's fine. Alright, there. He'd originally pinned our shadows down to prevent us from doing anything, but Dorothy there saved our bacon by with her flash. Alright, with that out of the way, we're moving on with another medium Ouroboros. Alright, and unfortunately, this is the end for Chloe here, so we're going to kind of rob her of her quartz. Put this Mind One on Estelle. And we are going to move on. So here we got more allies to talk to, but fortunately we just got to talk with our party members. So this one goes a little bit faster. And here we are in the city of Zeiss. And they seem to be having some earthquakes. I wonder if that's anything we'll have to check out. And apparently, yes, earthquakes are a problem. So we're gonna go meet up with our old friends the Russells. They're pretty smart. They might have an idea of how to help out with us. So here's everybody's favorite cinnamon roll, Tita, and her grandfather, Professor Russell. And yeah, they're going to help us out, but they got some things to get together. So while we do some more investigations, they're going to get stuff together. All right, so we're going to head on over to Wolf Fort. And there's some more Sepith because we never have enough Sepith. In fact, we're pretty much going to need every bit of Sepith we can get our hands on because we need it to build up our quartz so we can get access to more powerful spells. And here we are at Wolf Fort, where we're going to conduct our first investigation into the earthquake issue. And yes, we need to talk to Mr. Barkeep, Rufus there. Even he's got something to say. And apparently the only thing I've noticed here beyond the earthquakes is a guy with sunglasses. That may be important. Maybe. Alright, so we got everyone to talk to, so we're gonna head on out. But as we leave, we're stopped because apparently there is just another earthquake elsewhere. So we're gonna come over here and talk with more people. And apparently more people have been seeing our sunglasses man. So maybe a connection. Like Tammy here, apparently she was quite enamored with sunglasses man and tried to you know talk with him a bit, but apparently came out here and jumped away. Yeah, nothing weird or strange about that. All right, so we're done investigating here, so we're going to move on back to go on back to Zeiss. All right, so here in just a minute, we are going to go do some hunting for a shining palm. Shining palms are essentially the metal slimes of the Trails world. We're going to use them because we're a touch low on levels right now, and they are a very quick way to get beefed up. But the way they work here is they're attached to particular enemy encounters. So we're going to have to go hunt down a enemy and hope that the Shining Palm spawns with it. Fortunately, it's relatively easy to farm for, but it may take some time, so cross our fingers. Alright, we're taking this because we want to do a wild rage because... Ooh. Because we're going to need Agate's S-Break for this. And this is the guy we want. But, of course, we're going to have to get lucky. So I think it was about 3 or 4, which isn't terrible. I've definitely had worse luck, but fortunately, got the encounters we need, got some levels, and got beefed back up, so let's go on the road. As you can see, we've got Tita with us now. She's going to help us go set up equipment in particular places so we can try and triangulate the epicenter of where these earthquakes may be coming from. But unfortunately, it's not going to be easy. We're going to get slightly attacked here. Okay. And, nope. Okay, that's fine. Alright, not exactly the cleanest, but it works. So we've got one device set up, so go set up another. We got about 3 of these to set up. Quite rude there, sir. I don't think could have got away from that. Goodness, they are aggressive today. I don't think I've ever seen them quite this aggressive. Alright, so what we picked up there was the perilous meatballs recipe, which is the only thing we're going to be picking up for the recipe book. It's not actually something we'll actually be eating. Okay. But rather, oh dear. Because I need to heal him up. And switch that over. But it's an attack item, and we'll be using it a few chapters down the road. Alright. So, with that set up there, we now have our first AoE of the game, Aerial, which we're going to use to help get these guys knocked down. Alright, and that's whatever. That's a little less XP, but we're not super worried about it. Alright. And we did have to knock that monster out of the way, so. And here at Lyston Forge is where we're going to be setting up the next earthquake device. But before we do that, we're going to talk to this guy because this is the Royal Army base, so we probably should, get permission. Maybe. And of course, hey, it's Dad, so we're going to have a little chat with him. Alright. So, now we're going to go back on through, and let's see if maybe we can get a few less encounters than before. here we're going to pick up some stuff. We need mute, sleep, and cast 2. Alright, so she needs Heaven's Eye, sleep, EP1, cast 2. And we've got one last device we're going to set up down here in the tunnels between Zeiss and Ruan. In fact, we will be visiting these later. I'm going to heal real quick. We are going to do a quick Wild Rage encounter since we're next to a healing device. And here we're going to set up our final device. And it's a Shara and Annalise. And we're going to catch up real quick. And with that done, we're going to go back to Zeiss Central Factory and see if we can figure out what's up with all these earthquake shenanigans. And there's another earthquake happening. We're going to triangulate where this is coming from. It seems to be Elmo Village, so we're gonna go visit a hot springs town. And as you can see, there's a little chaos here because the hot springs are a little boiling, which is not good. So we just got the key there to go check out the source. So we're gonna go check that out. And here we have a very short dungeon. Ooh, I don't like that. And here's our sunglasses man, who's Walter, who has been behind all these earthquakes. And he's going to summon some abyss worms. Okay, let's see here. Abyss worms are kind of a fun thing. Um, shoot. I'm going to do this a bit weird. Okay. She's going to Vital Cannon, because we need to heal up. Abyss worms are kind of a dangerous thing because when they're hit at all, they kind of have a tendency to do a screen-wide earthquake, as you can see there. Ooh. Okay, we're going to play this dangerously here. I could have gone over better, but unfortunately, Walter is rather quite powerful and kind of took us out in one shot. But fortunately, our old buddy is going to come in and save our bacon. And Walter's like, yeah, no, I'm not messing with this. I'm done here. I'm just getting. All right. So here we've got a little training spar going on between Cassius and Captain Julia, I believe head of the guard, head of the royal guard. But unfortunately, things are happening in the background. So unfortunately, yeah, we're gonna rob Tita. Much as we love our cinnamon roll, she's not someone we're going to be using a whole lot during this run. So sorry. All right, here we're going to be heading to Gransil, the royal capital. But before we do that, time to prowl the ship and talk to our friends. Talk, and then need to pop up here, talk to Zen, who's going to relay his history with Walter and that they used to be martial arts students together, along with Kilika, who we didn't really talk about. Kilika being the, oh dear, the attendant there at the branch guild. That's not the right term, but it's escaping me at the moment. Alright, here we're going to get called on a request to head to the Urbe Royal Villa to try and hunt down a missing child. So, we're going to go do that now. And unfortunately, it involves a fair bit of walking, but no monster encounters. We don't want those. Alright. Going to make a slight detour here because come back here and pick up this defense 3. And although we like Zen, unfortunately we're going to kind of rob him a little bit. Alright, so we need hit 1 to defense 3, and P2 to mute, action 1 to EP cut 1. Got to advance my notes here. Sleep to mute, AP1 to defense 3, cast to EP cut 2, cast 2, and then we need to set to final break, which it already is. Good. Because we've got a little encounter here, we're going to set up for. And as much as we got Zen, we're not going to do much with him right now. Unfortunately, he's just going to give some quartz. But don't worry, Zen lovers. He will come into use later. And... oh. No, actually... ooh, not good. Okay. Not good. Okay. That's unusual. Okay. And unfortunately, that's kind of it for Olivier in terms of fight tan. So, yeah, he gets robbed. And here we are at the Urbe Royal Villa, and I need to do one thing here real quick because she needs this mine too. And he's going to tell us about the missing child there, so let's go play a little hide and seek. This is Duke Denon, who was kind of a part of that coup in the last game. He's been holed up here as punishment. Awkward. And here we found our missing child. It's Ren, who we saw back at the back in chapter 1. So I guess we're gonna be hanging around with her for a little bit. Her parents are gone, so we're going to take her back to the guild with us. Hopefully we can catch him later. Hopefully. And here we're going to run into Butler Phillip, who was the attendant to Duke Denon back there. Unlike Denon, Philip's a really cool guy. Okay, I don't know how I managed to avoid that, but, let's not question that. And here we're going to meet up with Colonel Sid from the Army. Apparently there's some international shenanigans going on, so we're going to need to talk to some international peoples. And fortunately, we have a Calvardian and Erebonian with us, so we're going to go hit up those embassies, or at least we will here in a moment. We're going to pop back in here and we're going to report because we need to pick up some money because we're going to go on a shopping trip here. But before we do that, here we're going to hit up the Calvardian embassy. Hobnob here with the ambassador. Alright, we're going to pass by Anton. Hey, Anton. And we're going to come over here and do a little shopping. Alright, so we need 2 lighters, 4 mirage rings. We need 4 black bangles. We need 3 glam chokers. We need 1 pearl earring. 4 lily necklace. 4 feather brooch. 4 skull pendants. And 1 proxy puppet. And that's basically just a bunch of accessories we're going to use to not worry about status effects during certain fights down the road. And here we're going to pop into the Erebonian embassy, where we see Major Vander again, whom Olivier is going to annoy the crap out of because that's what he does. Alright, so now we've talked to the Erebonian ambassador, so we need to talk to some folks from Liberl. Fortunately, we have the Princess of Liberl with here. That's Chloe. I probably forgot to mention that. So we're going to go hobnob in the castle a little bit. See what kind of information we can get here. So fortunately, as we saw earlier, Julia's out, so we're gonna go see if we can find the head maid. Surely she knows something. All right. Now that we've talked to her, we're gonna go. We're gonna go talk to the queen, because that is absolutely a thing we can do. Since we're with the princess. All right. So we've talked to Queen, so we've got one more place we're gonna go. Just a little note here. I kind of find it funny that even though there's no dust, there should be no dust here. We're kind of kicking up dust trails as we go through the palace. Kind of rude, but I guess that's what happens when you hit the old dusty trails. Alright, so time's passing a little bit. It's dusk now, but that's fine. So now we're going to see if we can go hunt down a man who knows something about a hot scoop. That's right, our old friend Niall. And fortunately, he's a nice enough guy. He's going to give us the goods. So now we've talked to everybody. So we're going to go run back to the guild and see what we can do with this information. All right, since it's pretty late, we're going to quit for the night. We're going to go rest at the local hotel Rosenbaum, get a couple rooms. And while they're sleeping, we're going to have a very brief interlude. Annalise and Shara are chasing down some old intelligence members because they're up to something. And unfortunately, they're kind of caught, but that's fine. Alright, so. Okay, I think I want to go like this. I'm trying to anticipate. I may. Yep, that was too far over. Okay, that's fine. Alright. And they were supposed to be a sprite there, I swear, but this is Campanella, who we kind of met at the end of the prologue. And he's going to blow up these intelligence members who are actually dolls. Oh, and there's Father Kevin for some reason. And there's the Kapuas. They're trying to get information about this mad tea party that's apparently going on. And we're back here at the villa, following up on things. And here's Duke Denon, whose house arrest is over. He's waiting on more guards because he wants a proper escort, but Estelle says something that actually gets him to mosey on, which a few people are grateful for. And here we need to hoof it back to Grand Cell because unfortunately, no fast travel in these games. And as you kind of seen there, may have seen there, Ren has kind of disappeared. So we need to go see if we can hunt her down. And remember how the last time we found her, she was playing hide and seek? Yeah, we're gonna do that again. And here we're supposed to be getting clues as to where she may be going, but speed run, we kind of know what we're doing. So she was at the museum, stopped by the Fisherman's Guild. Next place we're going to go to is a coffee house because, all 12-year-olds need coffee. And Marissa Day is going to give us a clue to where she may have gone next. This young proprietor is selling iced cream. And the final place we're going to go is to the airport. Where Olivia is saying farewell to Major Vander because he's off to something. Oh, look who snuck up behind us. Little rascal. she's going to give us a letter that may or may not be from Joshua, but this means we're going to have to take off by ourselves somewhere. So, who likes walking? Yeah, yeah. And oh no, I guess it's Father Kevin who got the same sort of letter here. And apparently we just caught in the trap. So, fortunately, pretty dang easy encounters, so. And fortunately, he's going to hang with us as we go back to town and see what's going up with us, because this is pretty dang mysterious. And by the time we get back to town, it's nighttime already. And here's Philip again. He's looking for Duke Danon, as you kind of saw was kidnapped by some intelligence members there. So we're gonna stop by the guild, where oh no, don't worry, everyone's just passed out. Nobody's actually in trouble or anything. Oh, hey, it's Shara and Annalise. And it's our old pal Sieg. He's going to point us towards the harbor because apparently something's going down there. So here we need to equip everyone with a feather brooch. And Kevin is going to get MP2. Alright, we want Kevin back here with Shara. So it's going to pop up front. And it's some attack dogs. But, it's fine. We're just going to aerial them. AoE is the solution to all our troubles. And here we've got more special ops soldiers who, Yeah, we're just going to aerial them. Remember those engines we saw just a few minutes ago? Apparently one of them has been stolen. Wonder what it's going to be used for. There's Duke Danan who's being pulled into these shenanigans. Ooh, unfortunate. And oh, I guess they used it for a tank. But guess what? She's not getting too far because Julia was prepared, and oh, that's not good. Kevin, what are you doing? All right, so I guess we're just going to be fighting a tank. Oh, oh dear. Should be fine. Because I actually want Julia to conserve her EP because we want it for a future fight. Okay, she needs EP charge. Alright, she needs. Alright. Nope. Want her to go Earth Lance. And there's that. Little insurrection over. But hey, it's Ren. Oh, guess I guess she actually planned everything. Those weren't her real parents, they were just dolls. Ugh, awkward. And, what little girl is incomplete isn't complete without a giant robot? Because, yeah, she's got one. So here they're interviewing Canone, who was trying to do things in the name of Colonel Richard here, but Colonel Richard's like, no, no, I didn't really want you to do that. And Kevin's here kind of explaining himself a little bit. And Ren's meeting back up with her Ouroboros friends because, yeah, she's an enforcer of Ouroboros. And here we're just choosing a few people because it's the end of the chapter. We're not too concerned. And it's Niall and Dorothy. They want to take a minute to talk to Estelle because Dorothy wants to show, what apparently a picture of Joshua. So here we are with Major Vander. Apparently he's here at an old place from first chapter where the Kapuas were originally heading out, and he's going to be reclaiming their aircraft, the Bobcat. Except here's Joshua and the Kapuas. I guess they're going to be getting the Bobcat themselves. And we are unequipping Joshua's equipment for a particular reason, which I will explain here shortly. So we're going to get into some fight. Now, Joshua comes equipped with some very powerful arts. This is something we normally wouldn't see until later in the game. So, yeah, he's quite beefy, especially compared to the Kapuas. In fact, he's actually going to be carrying us through this segment for the most part. Ooh, that was close. That's whatever. And what we got from that officer there was Bobcat's ignition key. So now we can kind of steal the Bobcat. Ah, so close. It's fine. And of course, we're going to be stopped by more army guys. But yeah, we're just going to. Oh. Crud. Okay. This might work out in our favor because of this next part. We're going to be taking on Major Vander. Now, normally this is an optional thing to where we can either beat him or he can beat us. It's a little bit faster if he beats us, as long as he, attacks us. And fortunately, with being frozen, that ended up going pretty well in our favor. And Dorothy was here on some business and happened to just catch things. All right, so now it's time for our course of talking to people. And Olivia is down here taking a call, which is weird because I don't really have cell phones in this universe. But, he's just going to brush it off in an Olivier manner. Maybe we'll find the answer someday. Alright, so now we're going to come down to Estelle's hometown Roland, which we saw in the beginning of the game, except that it looks a bit foggier than last time. So, we're going to be asked to check out how far this fog goes by Aina here. Aina, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name. Alright, so who wants to cook some meatballs? Because it's time to cook some meatballs. Alright. And here, at long last, we have Shara joining us. She's going to be a key part of this chapter. And there we took a Wild Rage encounter because we're going to go hunt for some shining palms again. Because, yeah, need some levels. Always need levels. We're level fiend. Okay, let's see here. Alright, so here we're going to... And then we need to change our tactics. Okay, she needs to be back here, put her here, and then he needs to beat down. Okay, yes. Alright, let's hope this goes well. And so far it is not going well. Okay, there we go. So we want... So, and he will meatball these two. Oh, that's not good. Okay. Oh, that's so fortunate. Okay. Silver. disappearing is whatever. Not optimal, but we're not missing out on too much experience. It's mostly just Shara and Zen who don't get anything. I think it's not even like 1,000 experience, so it's not super critical. We can make it up later. Oh, and now I need to do some things with Shara. She needs Mind 2 to Defense 3, Sleep 2 Impede, EP Cut 1, EP2 to Mute, Attack 2 to EP2. And I do want to take this because I need to Wild Rage. Don't want to bump in that guy. And here we're finally getting around to that mist investigation, seeing how far out it goes. And we're basically going to be checking it at 3 different points. So close. Plant dude, please. And here we're going to make a stop to the old bright residence. Check up on things. Have some tea while we're at it. Alright, so that ends our checking out to see how far this mist goes. So now we're going to, after this short cut scene here, head back to the guild. But unfortunately, chaos has happened as a few citizens have been suddenly fallen into a very deep sleep, and they cannot be aroused. So we need to go check that out. So basically, we got about 4 different people need to talk to. There's one there at the mayor's residence, one here above the bar. building back here behind. Alright, then we got one more person across the street. Alright, that's everyone. So we're going to go head back to the guild, see what we've got gathered up. Alright, so we're staying the night in separate places, and Estelle hears noise. It's just Shara. So we're going to sit here, have a little girl talk. Alright. So now that we've slept the night, head on back, see what's going on. Now that we're fresh-faced for the day. Alright, so we're going to go check out a local farm, see how things are going over there. And it seems like the mist has gotten worse overnight. And in fact, the army is going to come in to help with things. Alright, now let's see how well we can cut through here without getting these guys. Ah, so close. And here we got some monsters. But fortunately, they're pretty easy to take care of. Just going to shout at them a couple times. It'll be over. And Father Kevin, showing up conveniently as he does, is going to sit here and help the Prezels as they slumber while we go check things out. And here, we're learning that things are happening in a local forest called the Mistwald. So we're gonna go. We're gonna go investigate that. Ooh, thank you for missing me, Mr. Rhino. Okay, not getting away from that one. And here we are in a spooky forest dungeon um, with spooky horses. Don't you fear. This is actually pretty easy dungeon. We've got nothing to fear. Alright, so now we need to do some equipment. We need Black Bengal and Lily necklace on everyone. Necklace, he needs those Haken boots. And gonna take this time to restore her EP. Here we've got a little maze thing going on. But fortunately, it's pretty dang easy. We just got to go up about 4 times. So this is 3. This will be 4, and we'll give a short little cutscene. And now we just got to go right a few hairs. All right, here we are. And boss time. Which, slightly gimmicky here. Um, Basically, those two in the back can either only take physical damage, the one on the left, and the one on the right will only take magic damage. So, now that we got the little guys out of the way, we've got to just concentrate our forces. Crap. Unfortunate, but that actually went really well for the most part. And here we're going to get trapped within a dream ourselves. Because here's Cassius and our deceased mother, Lena. And as you can see, Estelle kind of reverts to a child a bit. But, you know, That's a dream. But even though it's a dream, it still feels something is off. So we're gonna go see what Joshua's room is like. But unfortunately, it's locked. So let's go talk to Dad about that. But Mom knows what a key is, so let's go talk to Mom. And keys in drawer, so let's go raid the drawer. Got the key, so let's go exploring. And it's filled with junk. But hey, there's a harmonica in here, so let's go out and play that. And this is another time sequence, so but it's shorter than the Olivier one, so. And Estelle manages to wake up. And this is Lucci, another enforcer of Ouroboros, who was behind the dreams thing. But now that her minions are over, hey look, the mist is gone and everybody's waking up. Yeah, yeah. Alright. And that is it for this segment. I was hoping for a little better times, but hey, gain's a gain. So, I'll see you next time when I complete part 2. Later, taters.